So you just gotta go, fear, I don't care, do it anyway, right? So, okay, fear, money, that's a huge obstacle for people, okay? The key with this is, I'm gonna show you how to raise money from somebody else, okay? So that you can get that money, so it's not your own money that he's doing. The effort is on you, okay? I can show you everything, you can learn everything I can possibly teach you, but then you gotta do it. You gotta show up. You showing up is effort, that was amazing. Confusion, I would super help you with that, and hopefully by the end of today, there'll be less confusion. Your beliefs, that happens too. Someone's like, dude, I'm just an actor, I can't produce a movie, or something like that, or I'm just a writer. No, we're gonna make sure that's changed. And then, finally, time. Now, I know a lot of people have issues with time, I get it. Single dad for all these years, it's like, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. Some of us are super efficient with it. Some of us are like, I never have any time, right? Here's the deal. If you want it bad enough, you will find a way, right? If you really want to work in movies 20%, you find a way. You wake up a half hour earlier, you go to bed a half hour later, and you just dedicate it. You go, I, Tom, will do whatever it takes to get my film, documentary, or TV series made within a year. So I go, I, Tom Malloy, will do what it takes to get my film made within a year. So here we go. Whatever, I want you all to say it out loud because it'll give a good positive energy to everybody. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, everybody go.
I, Shamus, will do what it takes to get my film, documentary, or TV series made within a year.
Oh, that's all. Give yourself a round of applause. That's amazing. Now, if you believe in like spirituality and the universe and all that stuff, which I do, it's like you have now put that out into the universe. That's everything. This table, these chairs, it all started as an idea in somebody's head, and then they expressed it, and then they brought it into the real world, and that's what we're hopefully doing with y'all. Okay. Nitty-gritty stuff. Let's talk about the state of the film business. It used to be this on the left here: DVDs, foreign sales, and pre-sales. Okay, and now it's this. At TVOD, SVOD, AVOD. Okay, VOD means video on demand. T is transactional video on demand. When you pay a fee, meaning say iTunes, you go in, you pay $5.99 to rent a movie or something like that. Or even there's a subsect called PVOD, which is premium VOD. And so that's when you're paying $19.99, it's still in theaters, or it's just out of theaters or something like that, but still, you're paying a fee to watch content. Subscription-based VOD, which is, Netflix, you pay X, you get to watch everything in their library. Okay, that's subscription. And then your AVOD, which is like Tubi or YouTube, where you can watch it for free, but you gotta watch ads, right? And everything's kind of moving down towards AVOD here. But the key is, you used to be able to make more off of less. Man, when I started in the movie business, it was like you would get one or two, say, like you get the DVD sale, you get Germany, you get UK, and that was like your entire budget. It was amazing. So now it's kind of like less off of more. As we talked about the distribution platform with my friends over there. It was like you gotta get 30 different platforms. You gotta sell all these territories and all that to be able to get that revenue. So there's positives and negatives to this. Positives? Movies could be made for a lot less money than they used to. I remember when we started, like you saw that 16 millimeter film camera. You had to have a crew and all that, especially when you had 35 millimeter film camera. You had to have all these guys, a clapper loader and all these people. And it's like now, I can go to Best Buy and get a comparable camera. I can go to my iPhone and get a comparable camera, right? So that's the most important thing I'm ever gonna say to you, and I'm never going to say it again. I'm so sorry, man. You just missed it. I'm so sorry. You in the back. You just missed like the best thing. All right. Movies can be made for less money. Another positive. High-end equipment, like I said, is available to everyone, and you can get big-name stars to commit for less money. That's huge. That is huge. One movie, one of our stars, I'm always able to get good names, talent for the movies. One movie, this female actress got $500,000. I know right now friends that are casting her in a movie for $10,000. Right? So it's like, and that sucks for them, but for us it's great, right? Because they can sell. Negatives, you can't get away with like one every year or two. Man, it was amazing. Like early 2000s, you did one film, you were like doing well. 2 movies, you were like mid 6 figures, you were killing it. And it's like, so now you have to be more of a career. Salaries are clearly not what they used to be. You make a movie for $300,000, which was tough to do years ago. Now it's a good budget, It's like now, you can't take $50,000 off of that, right? You have to make sure it's all makes sense. And it's always tough to make money from films, okay? Now it's tougher, but it's okay. It's doable. I'll give you this kind of solution. So this is, we're going to talk about like a step-by-step approach on how to raise money for your movie. You got to make your dreams a reality. If you follow these steps, you will be able to make your film happen. And the reason I can say that is because I do it, and everybody else does the same exact steps, which is great. So we're just repeating a model here. The golden rule. Anybody know the golden rule? No?
Okay, please and thank
The
you.
golden rule. There's like a life one, like something about friendship or something like that. But the golden rule for movies is he or she who has the gold makes the rules. He or she who has the gold makes the rules. Meaning, if you can raise the money, you are in control. You're the producer. Okay? There is something super cool that I'm telling you about. It's the one thing you need. There's me, I guess, when I started, I was crying. Ooh, baby. And I went here, and I went to A, and this is my career. It's like perfect. A, and then I got to B, and then I went back to A, and then I went back to B and C, and then I went all the way back to A, and then I finally got there. For this, hopefully I'm going to show you, you're just going to jump over that maze and get to here, okay? I'm going to say the one thing you need. It's crazy. Let's answer that. Let's do it right now. Just answer, start talking now. One thing you need is leverage, okay? If you have leverage, you can have a career literally instantly, like tomorrow, if you have the right leverage. Boom, done. Amazing. If you have it. So, what kind of leverage are we talking about? All right? Here it is. There's types of leverage, all right? The first one would be a killer script. Something that's like amazing that people want, and it's on spec or an adaptation. On spec means it's just the original idea in your head. Adaptation means it's adapted from other material like a book or something like that. Killer script, boom, leverage. The other thing is an option property. A novel or a life story. You got the rights to Muhammad Ali's story or something like that. Yeah, you're going to be able to make a movie out of that. Or a novel. My favorite producer of all time, Robert Evans. He's a legend. I got to meet him, took a picture with him, the coolest guy ever. And if you don't know who Robert Evans is, he took Paramount Studios from number 9 out of 9 to number 1 out of 9, produced Godfather 1 and 2, Chinatown, Love Story, like the best. And what's cool about Robert Evans is that he optioned a novel called The Detective, right? And it became super hot. He said, well, if you want to make this into a movie, you got to make me the producer. And I also want a lot, offices on Paramount Lot. And he took that and he leveraged it into a career. That's how quick things can happen. The other thing, and for the purpose of today, is money. Money, cash, or connection to money. If you come up and you're like, hey man, my uncle's got 20 million, you know what I mean? Like, and he wants to make movies, boom, you can have a career. That literally happened to me. One speech, some guy came up afterwards and he goes, yeah, I have an investor that wants, it was a documentary. He says, I have an investor that wants to invest like 1.5 million into a documentary. He goes, but he doesn't trust me because I've never done this before. He's like, would you help me produce it? And I was like, yes, okay. And we ended up producing that documentary. But the key was money immediately, okay? So, let's talk about money, because our focus is going to be that for the rest of the time, money. I'm not going to do the joke again, even though it'd be perfect, but I'm not going to, it's going to play that. How do you get the money, all right? H&Is. I talked about H&Is, I think, yesterday a little bit, or in the podcast or something like that. H&Is are high net worth individuals. H&Is. Rich people, all right? Here's what we're talking about. Ideally, they're not in the film business, okay? You know, it always happens, like, I remember when I started saying I was going to be a film producer, I had like an aunt that's like, you know, you have a second cousin that's an assistant cameraman on such and such TV show. It's like, that guy's not going to help me, you know? He's trying to keep his job, right? He doesn't know how to put that movie together. So they're ideally not in the film business. You want the guy that's made $200 million making plastic bottles or something like that. Why? Because it is freaking cool to make movies. Right? And then suddenly this guy's on the golf course with his friends and he's like, yeah, I'm producing a movie, you know, and it's got Angelina Jolie in it. Amazing. You know what I mean? Like, that is so cool. So they want to do this. And what's cool is that you all here can become a conduit for them. There's no like 900 number, you know, they can call, I want to make a movie or fill out a form. You're the person that says, hey, guy, you know, I can make that movie for you. I can produce it, or maybe a documentary. I can do that for you, and that's what's awesome. So that's how you become that conduit, and you gotta think of yourself as that they don't know how to do this, so you're gonna make this movie for them, and you're gonna introduce them to that world. And God, I've done that so well. My whole career, all the investors that I've closed, it was like I made sure they got on the red carpets and stuff like that, and then they ended up celebrity friends and things like that. So it was so beneficial for them to get into that world, right? So, okay, so how do you attract these H&Is? There's all this like social media crap and all that. How do you get these people? Where do you find them? Okay, here's what we're going to talk about. Those 3 words right there. God, I've been doing this for 25 years. Raising money, okay? Improve the project, improve the project, improve the project. It took me like 15 of those years to understand that was the #1 way to attract the money. It's you've got to improve. Every time I hear the phone go off, I'm like, all One of these, we gotta answer it one time. Please bring one up when it rings, and I swear I'll answer it right after. Improve the project. All right, what do I mean by this? Well, preparation is the key, okay? And I'll show you a little bit more detail. What I mean is this. Do not approach an H&I early. There's the prep project, guys making it rain, and then this is an unprepped project. Yes, he is pulling out his pockets, got no money. So what does this mean? Okay, do not approach early. Look, true. It is better not to approach an H&I with an unprepped than approach them with an unprepped project, right? It's better to just cancel a meeting. Literally, if you have a meeting coming on this week and you don't have a project ready, cancel it. Okay? Because what happens is unprepped project tells the H&I that you're an amateur and you shouldn't be taken seriously. And guess what? Once you're labeled as an amateur, you're never getting an audience in front of an H&I again. Think about it. H&Is are almost always pressed for time. I'm pressed for time. I get it. I never seem to have time. And the key is you are wasting this person's time. Think about this. What if a friend said, hey, come see my movie. I just made this movie. And then you go see it. It's like 3 hours long, and it's like silent movie, and there's characters looking at the camera and all that stuff. And it's like the worst 3 hours of your life. You're like, I'll never get this time back. And you leave, and then 2 months later, the friend calls you. He's like, dude, I got another movie. You want to come see it? You would make every excuse to be like, oh, no, I'm leaving the country. You make sure you're not seeing that movie because you put that person in a box. And it's tough to get out of that box, you know what I mean? When you're like, this person's an amateur, they don't know what they're doing, you know? I see it at AFM, and I talk about the film markets and stuff like that. I see it. People come up to me with literally a one sheet that's bad. You know, they did it in Microsoft Word instead of professionally designed. And talk about judging a book by its cover. I'm like, oh, this film's gonna suck, right? Just because they didn't put the money into making an actual poster. Go to Fiverr, go to 99 Designs, get a real poster made, you know what I mean? And so, again, judging a book by its cover, but there it is. Okay, so what we're gonna do for the rest of the time, which by the way, I just wanna make sure we're good. Okay, is this 5-step breakdown, okay? These 5 steps that you're gonna take to prepping your project. All right, here we go. Step 1. It's a killer script, all right? And this is what I mean by the killer script. It must be amazing. There's Casablanca, voted by the Writers Guild as the #1 screenplay of all time. It's gotta be amazing. The script has to be something that can't just be good. If people are reading your script and go, it's good, it's good. Not enough. It's not enough, okay? What's interesting is that it doesn't guarantee. Look, you're gonna have the best script. And I've had movies that started with an amazing script and the movie turned out to be like, okay. The key is, does it guarantee it's gonna be a great script? Doesn't mean great movie, but the opposite almost always does. Crap script equals crap movie 100% of the time, all right? It just does not come, it doesn't flip around. And also this was told to me by Chris McQuarrie, Oscar-winning writer, and now director of the Mission Impossible franchise. And he was like, great scripts get made. And it sounds so simple, but what he meant is that there are so few that are killer scripts. If you have one, it gets made. It really does, if it's that good. And it's the one where people read it and they're like, dude, I gotta be a part of this. Like that's what you want, that reaction. Now, how do you know? All right, you gotta get something called a good read. All right, a good read is this. It can't be, give me your mom, or your attractive cousin, whatever. You can't be your grandpa, your fisherman grandpa, whoever that guy. Give me those people. It's gotta be, because they're gonna do this. They're gonna give cheerleading to you, which is like, yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I didn't really understand the ending, but good job. You got it done. What the hell does that do for you? Nothing. Nothing. You want actual critique. You got to seek actual critique and understand that the script's going to change. That was a big thing for me as an early writer. I thought all the top authors in the world, Elmore Leonard, Larry McMurtry, I thought they just wrote, even the screenwriters, Paul Haggis, they just wrote one draft and that was the thing. No, they're rewriting all the way up to the movie. I rewrote on set once because freaking my first day off on Love and Dancing, and Billy Zane didn't like the dialogue in the scene. The day we were shooting it, it's like, couldn't you have said that 2 months ago, you asshole? But no offense to him. But yeah, and I had to go on set while 40 crew members are looking at me. Oh, this is great that this is filmed, by the way. 40 crew members are looking at me, and I'm writing dialogue for them, and I'm like, how's this? And so it's gonna change all the time. All right. The key is, you need this. You need script covers. Everybody know what script covers is? The people who don't, it's a report on your screenplay. Okay? It's a report on your screenplay, and what it is, it's its rating. So see this up here, it'll be they're all different, but it almost always have this chart in the middle, and then it'll say idea, excellent, good, fair, poor, characters, blah, 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 story, dialogue, and then it'll be check marks and stuff like that. And then it'll have the log line, the synopsis, an analysis of the script, and then this part right here, super important. Recommend or pass. Script recommend pass, writer recommend pass. There's actually 3 versions that you can get. Script pass, writer pass means it ain't ready. It's not killer script. Script recommend, writer recommend, amazing. You may have something there, okay? The third is script pass, writer recommend. That's a good spot to be in, okay? Because that means that script wasn't for them, but they like your writing, all right? I had a female vigilante action flick that went out through CAA, and it was getting all kinds of coverage and all that, and I got a lot of like writer recommend, but it was too violent at the time. And it was female led and all that stuff, and that was kind of before that became a thing where it was like now good to do that. But I got script pass, writer recommend, which meant they'll read anything in the future. That's a good state to be in, okay? You can find coverage here. By the way, there are sites. I think it's like Shark Tip or Ink Tip. Some one of those sites can do it. I don't know them, never use them. All right? But you can find it on Craigslist, Los Angeles. And I laugh because that's the only city where you're going to post something and ask for coverage, and they're going to have any idea what the hell you're talking about. You get to Craigslist, Cleveland, and ask for script coverage. They're going to be like, what? Craigslist Los Angeles, you put an ad just saying, I'm looking for script coverage. You'll get all these people saying, $40, $50, up to $100, and they'll give you this beautiful report. It's like a book report, all right? And then I say always do more than one. And it's, if they're like, I had to pay $50 3 times, $150, dude, come on. The WGA minimum now for a screenplay is like $80,000. If I write an original screenplay, the minimum you can pay me is $80,000. So you're worried about, spending $150 to make your script into a killer script? That's what you gotta do, all right? Okay, so let's go to step 2. I believe this one is my favorite one, I think. Yes! Insanity. I love that guy. Insanity versus liability. This is the most important step for me. I love this one, especially with younger filmmakers or newer filmmakers, all right? There are liabilities with almost every movie. Almost every movie's gonna have liabilities. Examples, like you're the star of the movie. Okay, I've done it. I've been the star of the movie. It's okay. It's a liability though, because you're not a sellable name overseas or something like that. You're a first-time director, or you don't have any producing experience. This is all liabilities, okay? These are all liabilities. They are surmountable, okay? Or you don't have no track record. That's all liabilities. You can beat those things. Now, let me give you an example of insanity. Let me get that insane guy up on the screen. There he is. Nice. And insanity will be this. Your movie budget's over $30 million. You're like, it's my first movie in India. It's $32 million. It's like, are you insane? Like, that's just not gonna happen. Or you believe you're get A-list celebrity cameos. I get that shit all the time. One of my colleagues, she had a story of somebody saying they were gonna get Woody Harrelson in the movie. And she was like, how are you getting Woody Harrelson? He goes, well, my roommate is a bagger at Ralph's, which is the grocery store. And he comes in through Ralph's and he's gonna hand him the script. And it was like, that's your connection to Woody Harrelson? Come on. Goddamn. Or you think Brad Pitt will do your $100,000 movie. Okay, it's not gonna happen. And then, look, there's always lottery tickets. We even referenced lottery tickets yesterday on a panel. It's like, you'll go, well, Tom, Brad Pitt did do a $100,000 movie. Whatever. Maybe that was his best friend or he owed a favor or something like that. It doesn't matter. You can't use a lottery ticket as a business plan for your career. If your idea to make money for your life is like, I'm just going to keep playing the lottery every day, you're going to go boom, play the lottery. It's not going to happen. All right? So you can't have the incentives. It's crazy. It's one of them. One stops the project. Literally one. Okay? If there's even one, the project's dead in the water. It's not even worth trying. It's crazy. You have one insanity. Like somebody will pitch me something, they're like, yeah, we have to have this. It's like, it's just not going to happen. All right? Now, here's the cool thing. The liabilities are surmountable. Never try to hide them. Start with them in your pitch and build up from here. How do I know this? Because I have screwed this shit up. I've done it myself. Again, I did a movie called Love and Dancing, right? I go and I pitch these guys. I believe they were Showcase Entertainment. They're not around anymore. But at the time, they had money and they were producing movies, okay? And so what's interesting is that I thought they knew I was playing this lead role in the movie Love and Dancing that I had written for myself, because I used to teach ballroom dancing. Here was a ballroom dancing role. I go in and I pitch the whole thing. Amy Smart, Billy Zane, Betty White, pitching it. It's going great. Their energy's up. And then they were like, wow, this is exciting. They were visualizing, we shoot this in Hawaii and blah, blah, blah. And then they go, and all right, who can we get to the male lead? And I was like, oh shit. And I go, I'm playing that. And it was like, honest to God, it was like a balloon popped. It was like the balloon with the air was slowly let out of the room. And then they were like, okay, all right, we'll give you a call. And that was the end of that. Now, I didn't know they didn't know, so it was a mistake. But the key was, if I knew that, the first thing I would have listen, I got a dance movie, I'm starring in it, I wrote it, let me tell you about it. And so you start with the liability and they just go up from there, just keep adding on and making it better, right? All right, so that's how you do it. Almost every film, that's something that was huge for me. When you see, somebody mentioned Clint Eastwood in the last thing, and like him and Martin Scorsese having trouble getting their financing. It's like every film has liabilities. So you're part of the club, man. You got the liabilities. It's like, okay, that's fine. The key is you got to attack them. Strengthen your liabilities, whatever the way it is, and face them head on, you'll be unstoppable. I remember early on, I wanted to star in movies, and I wanted to be an actor, and I wrote this movie called The Attic. And so instead of making it the Tom Malloy show, I made myself like the third biggest role. And we got Elizabeth Moss, who's now the star of Mad Men and Handmaid's Tale. She played my sister. She was the lead. Alexander Daddario was her first movie. It was like, we put all these people in, and then I proved that I was just as good as them in that movie, right? And we had the director of Pet Sematary. That is so much more powerful than just going and making it, it's just me, and, I'm directing, and I'm doing all, no. You got it. So that, to me, was the way I strengthened the liability of me being in the movie. All right? Okay, step 3. Your budget. Your budget has to be right, has to be correct, all right? You gotta get a real number. I have heard people pitch this crap right here. 3 budgets. Oh, you gotta have a get it done budget, you gotta have an ideal budget, you gotta have a dream budget. Anyone who says that has no clue what you're talking about, all right? If I'm trying to sell you a car and I'm like, well, the version of the car is 30 grand, and then, there's a better version, 100 grand. And if you want the one with the big version, everything on it, that's 250,000. It's like, you're gonna go, well, just give me a $30,000 car. It looks exactly the same. There is only one number you need to worry about, and it is the get it done budget, all right? What do I mean by get it done budget? I mean the absolute lowest you can do it for without losing production value. Like, if scene 1 was like interior Yankee Stadium, right? And then you were like, well, let's just shoot it in the patio here. Come on, that doesn't work, right? But it could be like, there's a minor league stadium that I could sub for Yankee Stadium, right? And that's like low production value. I remember talking to this guy that was trying to get his budget down, and he had a scene in a school bus, and he went to the kids like running up and down the school bus, and so the one kid that was like lonely, and just sitting there and nobody was talking to him. And I said, what's this going to be? That to get the permit, go down the street, you got to get the school bus and all that stuff. I'm like, put him on a park bench. You can go shoot in the park and just show the kids playing around him, and he's just sitting there like on the bench. I'm like, same exact scene, same exact message, don't have to be in a school bus. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the get it done budget, all right? The way to get this is to get a line producer, all right? Yes, you got to get a line producer that knows the nuts and bolts. And somebody, by the way, that has worked recently. It's not like, my last film was 2000. Like, no, somebody that knows the numbers now. And what they'll do is they'll put the budget together. If anybody afterwards wants like line producer references, you can email me and I'll give you line producer people that that are great and have nothing to do with me. They'll help put your budget. And I'm sure you can find them at markets and stuff like that too. Okay, step 4 is your business plan. Okay, your business plan is this. It's got to be concise. It's got to be simple, straightforward, easy to pitch in front of somebody, and it's going to highlight all the value of your film. I have seen business plans that are so much text. You know what I ordered the text? I have literally, this is no joke. Somebody gave me a 90-page business plan once. And it was such a waste of like trees. Like, you don't have like a blank page and like right in the middle and like career 12 point, it was like resumes. It was like, what did you wait the page for that for? And it was like this gigantic thing. How is somebody going to read it? Every time I do a business plan, I'm going through it in front of the guy that I'm showing it to, right? And I'm going through it, here's this, and like sometimes I'm over the shoulder and they're flipping it in front of me. It's got to highlight the value of your movie, all right? It's not an investment document. It is a mistake to present what's called a PPM on the first meeting. PPM is private placement memorandum. The equivalent of that would be me going on like a first date, and I'm like sitting across from the girl like, hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm like, just by the way, I have this little brochure here. This is a place we can get married. By the way, it's okay. It's a beautiful place. I'm just gonna say that and put it over here. Come on, you don't do that. I'm gonna come and get a second date with her. That's the end of that. Okay, you don't want to do that. You want to do it should just be an overview. And beware, by the way, it's so-called experts in the field. Like there's people writing books on business plans. My book Bankroll was produced. It was put out there by the #1 film book publisher, and they used to have these summits and stuff. And one guy had written a book on film finance, and I'm like, hey, brother, well, he's young. I said, what movies have you put financing? And he said, well, none yet. He goes, but I graduated from Harvard Business Law School. And I'm like, yeah. So that's going to tell you how to produce a movie? No, thanks. So it's not an investment document. What it is, you know what? Yeah, that's the business plan I got. H&Is, like I said, are almost always pressed for time. All right, you don't want to waste your time inundating them with information. You kill the deal. And that is a note for everybody on everything. Like sometimes we'll get For the distributors in the room, we'll get a contract. I'll send it. We have a pretty producer-friendly contract with my company, Glass House Distribution, which I have a sales company, 190 movies in the catalog. And we'll get a sales contract with the filmmaker, and just for their lawyer to prove that he's worth his money, he'll redline the entire contract. Honest to God, if I'm on the fence of a movie, I'll be like, pass. I'm not even gonna take the time, right? You never want to inundate somebody with too much information. You're gonna rock the boat. That's what they're looking for. I had a guy who's like, big star, Anarchy, and he gives me his business, and it was like a magazine. It was beautiful. And at the end, I flipped through it. I'm like, Kurt, what the hell is the number? I'm asking me for. You just want me to look at your stuff and see your pictures and stuff like that? It didn't even put in there what they were looking for. So you can't be afraid to ask the hard questions, okay? And you got to lead the investor to the next step. I do that with every business meeting. It's like, hey, let's talk about the next step. You want to put some money in this movie, all right? For those of you that are advisors for 20 plus years of raising money, so if anybody needs a business plan, you can go. It's actually, I think it's Movie Plan Pro. I should know this. MoviePlanPro.com. It's plug and play, where literally you just boom, boom, boom with your information and it spits out your business plan. So if you need help, that's the one that I use. It's not like I'm using some secret business plan and then I sell this one. It's the exact same one I'm using to pitch. Okay, step 5, the pitch. There's pitch guy right there. That's the guy pitching. See all the other stuff I got behind it. They're not going to know all the script is amazing. They're going to know this because I screwed up the pitch. All right. The question is, can you do it in 2 minutes? I swear to you, I've taught classes on pitching. And I've gone up and be like, all right, or I've been in the hallway, at Cannes, and I'd be like, hey, give me your 2-minute pitch. 20 minutes later, they're still talking about the goddamn movie, all right? Can you do it in 2 minutes? And in sales, they say always be closing. In film, I say ABP, always be pitching. Always have something to pitch. I can literally close financing right now, and then an H&I comes up to me, I have a new film, and be like, hey, let me tell you about this movie I got. Always have something to pitch. You should always be ready. After pitching and teaching classes for all these years, I have identified 3 mistakes with pitching. 3. There's the bad project, there's not knowing your investor, and there's low energy, okay? All right, let's just go through these real quick. The bad project means you didn't do everything that I've been talking about. You didn't prep it, so it doesn't matter. You're pitching crap to the person. It doesn't matter if you're the greatest salesperson in the world, you're pitching crap. So that's a mistake. The second one is not knowing the investor. If you're going to this investor and you got the bloodiest horror movie, and this guy is like a faith-based guy that wants to do Christian movies, you're screwed. I don't care if you're me, I don't care if you're the greatest pitcher that ever lived, you're not getting the money, all right? Set up a meeting with this H&I, all right? I Google, first I go, tell me about the person, all right? Number 1. Number 2, I Google the crap out of them. I make sure, like, all right, what can I find out about this person? Oh, they have tennis court in their house, great. I have a tennis court scene in the movie, we can shoot at their house, they're gonna love this, whatever. The third is when I get in that meeting, the first thing I say is, Bob, tell me about yourself, right? I get them talking about themselves. And then I hear information, and I'm like, I'm using that in the pitch. Always, all right? The third is on you. This is low energy. Clearly, I don't have that problem. I've never had that problem in my life. Low energy. Look, if you're thinking about energy on a scale from 0 to 10, let's just say 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, okay? You don't have to be crazy and yelling and all this stuff. I can talk to you super passionate, just like not yelling. I'm just telling you, oh my, okay? That's the energy you have to put in. If you are practicing, if you're practicing at an 8, 9, or 10, I'm telling you this. I've been in hundreds of pitch meetings. It's always going to drop. You're going to be 4, 5, and 6, 5, 6, 7 maybe in the pitch meeting. All right, because they're going to be curveballs. But if you're practicing at a 4, 5, and 6, you're going to be 1, 2, 3 in that meeting, and 1, 2, 3s do not get the financing, all right? It is not the time. Killer script, insanity versus liability. You got to get rid of the insanity, strengthen the liability. You got to have a budget, you got to have your business plan, and you got to have your pitch. Now, what's crazy is that they're all interdependent, 100%. If one of them fails, the entire project fails, and you will not get the investment. I'll give you 3 examples here, all right? Let's just say the script is great. There's no insanities, the business plan looks good, the pitch is dynamic, all right? But the budget is way too high. You go, oh, we need $25 million. Oh, no, you're not getting it, all right? I'll give you another example here. This one, the budget works, there's no insanities. The business plan looks good, the pitch is dynamic, but the script is horrible, okay? And you're not getting it, okay? They read the script and they're like, and that's happened, where I've got everything else, and the guy goes, no, I'm not into the script. The third example here, script is great, no insanities, budget works, the business plan looks good. All that's great, but guess what? Your pitch sucks. That's the situation where they're not even going to learn all this crap because your pitch was so horrible. not for me. Boom. So they didn't even realize you had. All right, so remember those things. All right, let's go through it. We'll just review right at the end here as I wrap it up, and then I'll talk a little bit about filmmaking stuff. What have we learned so far? The golden rule, which is he or she who has the gold makes the rules. Okay, nice. I see it. Good, I see it. Awesome. Leverage is the key. You create leverage, you got a career like tomorrow. I'm not kidding, right? Prepping leads to money. I'm telling you folks, understand this. Those 5 steps, if I have a movie that's not going, I go back and I strengthen those 5 steps. If I get a movie and I'm like, if I can't get the financing, I go back, I make the script better, I lower the budget, all right? I do the business plan, I change up the pitch, and that's how I get it going. So I just go back and keep strengthening that stuff. And the 5 steps to prepping, god dang. All those steps are interdependent, you need to hit them all, okay, to get to the next level. Prepping leads to investors, a prep project leads to money for your film. If you don't believe me, do it anyway. Do it anyway, just keep prepping the project, and guess what? It becomes something that's so irresistible that investors are like, we gotta be a part of this. It's just the way it is. It's the way it happens. The golden rule, one more time, he or she who has the gold makes the rules. All right, so let's sit on this thing. What I want, I hope this works, is I want you to say yes, if it is a yes, for these questions. After what we've learned so far, let's hear it out loud if we say yes. After what I taught already, do you feel comfortable prepping your project?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. There's some joker in the back, Princeton. No. 2, do you realize the advantage over there? Can you see yourself using these techniques? Please, God. Say yes. Yes. You have to. You have to. Go back and strengthen those 5 steps. Was our time so far well spent? Good. Yeah. Yes, thank you. All right, so this one, I don't care if you say yes, but I'll give you a quick thing on filmmaking stuff if you would like to spend more time together. If you're like, I'm not sick of this idiot yet, I want to see more of him. If anybody wants to the Premiere Online membership, it's called Filmmaking Stuff HQ. You get instant access training. We have developed this over 13 years. Resources, community, so you can write, develop, and fund your next movie. I'll give you a quick thing on it. Look, it's the next level. Insider information. Getting insider information on film financing and distribution is key to immediately advancing your movie career, and it's attainable only through Filmmaking Stuff HQ membership. What I mean by this is you can learn how to shoot a scene. You can learn how to do this kind of stuff on YouTube, right? You can learn all that stuff. The stuff that you can only learn through us is film financing and film distribution. How to raise the money, and then how to sell the movie to make more money and do more movies, okay? What we have is like video modules, like Movie Plan Pro I mentioned. It's a world famous business plan, it's a template for financing, and it's plug and play. So like what you do is you go check out Movie Plan Pro, there's a series of videos, you get to download all that stuff, keep it, and then use it forever, and that's one of the modules. Another one's called Funded Development, which is, for those who know the insider, this is insider information, secret to film financing, what every successful producer uses. And it's, again, insider information. And here's another one, casting actors. How to cast stars in your movie, how to stars lead to sales, which is 100% true, and how to level up your films. So, those are examples. I'll give you the overview of all of them, because I know we're running out of time. All these video courses exist. The Filmmaker Action Pack, how to attract and cast famous actors, write your screenplay, find film investors, Movie Plan Pro, producer pitch secrets, funded development strategy, movie meeting mastery. These are all video courses that are like digestible chunks, 7-8 minutes, and a bunch of videos you can just go back to. And then all these for sale. Movie distribution prep, American Film Market Roadmap, and international film distribution. Here's what's awesome about it. You can learn what no one else can teach you. You get the acquired knowledge and easy to follow steps. You quickly get your dreams and you get your movie made. God, that's the best part. All of that, if you added them and bought them one by one, is over $1,200. Okay, that's what it is. But if you go to that link, which I think that my partner in this made it doable for the next hour and a half, filmmakingstuffhq.com/deal. It's $1,200. It's not $1,200 now. Sorry, it's only $97 a month. $97 a month for access to all that. All the stuff I get to 25 million, produce 26 movies, every single thing. You can keep all the downloads. That's what's awesome. It's only literally $97 a month. And you get bonuses. You can access the private Facebook members only group, which is like people say, hey, I'm looking for a sound mixer. I'm looking for a colorist. You know what I mean? They post on there. People answer them all the time. I'm looking for a line producer. I know some people are talking about the line producers. You can post on there. And then this is cool. You get twice a month. We get on, Jason and I, my partner in this, and we do like a Zoom call where like I'm on there and you can ask questions about your film. So it's like consulting on your movie. And then the last thing, today only, we'll throw out today only at you. I used to consult on films with $300 an hour, then I raised it to $600 an hour, then I was $1,200 an hour, and then I stopped. I run 3 friggin' companies.